Pace fly-in, third day, second morning. You can see my man Darren sitting at 200 feet. I mean, sitting. I'm in the Hadron, and my ground speed that day was super slow. Darren was stopped. I think he said he'd never really even felt that feeling before. The winds were smooth, so he was fine, but they were kind of high, so he just sat there. Now, they say it's a little easier to take chances at fly-ins, and you see it happening all the time. But really, I think it's like two things coming together. One, everyone figures that there's like a herd mentality, so that if you're doing something really stupid, somebody's going to point it out to you. I mean, there's a lot of loudmouth people at these fly-ins that will be glad to tell you anything that they are thinking at any given time. So you figure that these people are going to be like, hey man, that's stupid, at least once, if it's too stupid. And as long as you're listening, you're okay. Two, stuff's a little less dangerous when there's so many pilots in the air. I know that sounds weird, but to me, you can kind of watch them like windsocks up in the air. If they're getting rocked around, then, beginners don't go up. If it's super smooth, even if the wind's high, you're going to see it. People are going to be sitting around in the air and they're just going to be chilling. And I think that's like a cool little thing. That's a little side note. I'm going back to pace flying. Now, the wind was a bit higher, but the gauntlet had been thrown. No one was determined until there were some contestants. So, after some flybys and some foot drags off site were reported from the day before, new people thought that they wanted to do well in the tournament, whatever it was called. My friend Josh told me he was definitely landing that day, no doubt. I was excited for him. So when we got to the site, he wasted no time. It was actually a little bumpy under the trees, but he went for it. He was really determined. As soon as he was on the ground, he wasted no time determining the optimal launch direction, which, as a lot of more experienced pilots will tell you, isn't always the same way that you came into a field. Because of the ability to run it out, I think Josh actually chose a downwind takeoff, but he nailed it, and we were off to the next site. Here he is at the Rouse's hayfield runways. I add an S because I cut 2 diagonal runways for my trike so I can take off when the wind is coming from any direction. I also allowed landing and foot dragging the middle of the X to count as hitting both runways. But since he landed, Josh still had to sign both stacks of Post-it notes. Now, while all of this was going on, John Ripa was exploring Walker's Pig Farm number 1 runway, which I think was his third, and he logged a solid flyover. I actually got him on the phone as I was also landing at Rouse's with Josh, except my land out was for a more pressing reason. See, my muffler cracked in half, and you can hear it right now. Next year, I'll make sure there's more windsocks at each location. That should help people feel better about participating, especially at fields that look kind of gnarly and they definitely aren't flat, and they definitely aren't airports, but they are doable. I left the motor running, didn't give it really any gas. I was listening and I just wanted to have one more jolt of gas if I needed it, so I left it running. I did land downwind here, or at least severely crosswind, and it was not pretty. I've always really prided myself on my smooth landings, and for me to do this right in front of my friend, it really sucked because it's pretty stupid. I hit hard.
Rough. That was rough. Hey, dude, I'll talk to you later. All right, man. Bye. Well, in the spirit of the day,
your exhaust is completely cracked in half.
there you go.
Yeah, his exhaust is completely cracked in half.
Did I lose my prop? That was my last prop. Oh, Jesus. All in way in half. And I just let him borrow my other one.
Yeah.
Let me call him right now and see if I can get a ride. Hey, that's what this weekend's all about though, man. I need a ride back to Pace. you get this, call me back. I'm gonna be calling around, see if I can get it right.
At the tone, please record your voice message.
Josh had another successful takeoff, and he was on his way back because the winds were kicking up a little bit. They had the wind at their back, and they made it home pretty quickly. I, on the other hand, had to sit there and just wait for people to help me out, really.
This service is garbage. Can you hear me?
Hey,
You had to land out of bounds?
yeah, my muffler cracked in half.
You need me to come get you?
What are you doing?
I'll come get you.
I'm just sitting here in the field. I just need a ride to Pace so I can get my trailer.
All right, I'll be over.
Y'all still up there? Can you hear me? Cool, I got a ride. I might be able to be there before you are. That was a badass landing, my man. A couple of them. At my celebration to landing out this weekend, where I have incentivized people to land at places they're unfamiliar with my very small amount of assurances that it's a decent place to land out. I have had to have an emergency landing. While I was circling, videotaping Josh Hensley landing on my X, you can see in the distance my my rig, damn muffler broke in half. I had just let somebody borrow my other muffler because his broke in half. I assured him that he wouldn't have to pay me if it broke during his first flight. And now, instead of being super cool, I'm gonna be an Indian giver. I'm gonna take my muffler back. Hope that he doesn't call party foul too much. We'll see. Scott's gonna come and pick me up. Hopefully some of y'all get to meet Scott this weekend. All right, so landed out because of a broken muffler. And I essentially had to be an Indian giver of another muffler. And I went to put that one on, and I saw that my frame was broken. I think I might have had too rough of a landing, or I had too much air in the tires when I had that rough landing, or it was just a bad strap job in the truck. I don't know. All I know is it's hot in here. I'm frustrated. I've got to roll these windows down, but I want to sort of document the look on my face before whatever is about to happen. My friend David Collins said that he would weld this frame for me, hopefully quickly if he can. So I'm wheeling it over there. Hope everybody else ends up having a great time. That was super heart-wrenching. I made it about 20 minutes away, on my way to the welders, just to find out that he doesn't have any stainless rods. I guess it's not meant to be. This will be one of those fly-ins that I get to mingle. I get to talk to people just like every other fly-in. It'll be badass.
James.
Nice to meet you.
Nice meeting you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Did you get it fixed already?
I didn't get it fixed. It's not gonna happen. It's over.
He was coming to check everything out, but he has another field that he'd like to offer up to fly
See,
in.
next year I'm gonna try to get, like, now that people know in Martinsville, we'll have places close by.
Yeah, he stopped by and was chatting with me. So the dude in the white polo,
Excellent.
and that's him.
Thank you. Snapped in half. No, I didn't get it fixed. I wish I could, but I don't think it's gonna happen.
Why not?
It's done. I couldn't find a welder.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He's like, man, I don't have any stainless rods. He's like, I'm so sorry. He's like, I can get them on Monday, but
Man, so you can't fly today?
nah, I think I'm good. It's all right. There's gonna be 1,000 conversations to have between now and midnight.
Now, after all the pessimism, I joined forces with Todd Scott, searching for a solution to my broken frame issue, as well as his cracked muffler issue. And he ended up finding someone that could come out to the field, weld the stuff up on the spot, and have me flying in time to follow the Newbern boys down to Mockingbird Road in North Carolina. I'll talk about that field a little bit later in this video. It's kind of neat. It's the end of a road. Getting my rig fixed and being able to fly again by that afternoon felt like a miracle had been done. My friend Randy followed us in his home-built foot launch rig, flying his 18-meter Snake. He loves that thing. It took me so long to finally take off after my repairs that by the time I got halfway to North Carolina, the rest of the group was actually coming back. But at least I got to fly with them one more time before the end of the weekend. When we got back to Pace, there were some spectators, so we all took our orderly turns with random foot drags and tight turns. I'm not sure if there was any pilot there that could really put on an acro show. So we just flew around for them, and you know, it's awesome to me that that's plenty entertainment for your average Joe.
I saw your wing over there at the end there. I thought that was something.
Is it too much?
Yeah, I saw it. The first time I saw it.
Is that the first time you see me do that?
Yeah.
The next morning, we were all invited to breakfast by the owner of the field and the members of the Pace Flying Club. A few of us went flying, but they were short hops that pretty much left us parked over the field, lamenting the end of the first Pace fly-in. The next day, I had the task of retrieving the sign-in sheets from all the fields, so here's that footage.
So I'm here at the Ferris Park pilot sign-in, and all I got is some random notes that say, "I found you, I know a lot too. I know who you are, and I found you," with a heart crossed out. It's crossed out. Second one's empty too. The weather was good, but a lot of these places were probably about 5 miles too far for people. They wanted to hang out with people. Cross countries are kind of solo things. Even if you're on comm, it's still your way out doing your thing, trying to get your thing done. I understand it. Still, Scott's Impossible Field would have been epic if somebody would have landed there. It was beautiful. This is the Mockingbird Road takeoff area and landing zone. Watch out. We could take off from here 500 feet. It says road ends 500 feet. So I hit a box right here. And we could have taken off past this tree and everything would have been fine. This would have been a great place. Only one person made it. He made it to basically that field over there and didn't understand the directions, or I was not clear. But here it is, the box. Maybe he made it over here and he was pulling my leg, but I don't know. Nope, it hasn't been touched. Mockingbird Road, maybe next year. Yeah. Cardwell's field is down a dirt road. It's called Mayo River Road. I just thought y'all might want to see this dirt road.
Dirt road, lay back swerving like I'm George Jones. Smoke blowing out the window, and ice cold beer sitting in the console. Memory lane up in the headlights, it's got me reminiscing on the good times. Sitting turning off a real life driving, that's right. Hit an easy street of mud tires, that's right.
Back in the day, pot farm was the place to go. Load the truck up, hit the dirt road, jump the barbed wire, spread the word, light the bonfire, then call the girls.
See, the grass is kind of high, but I cut a little strip in it. That's the box, and that's the strip. Now, I don't know what I'm gonna find in this box. I hope it's not something nasty or disrespectful. We're gonna see. And Mayo River Road. Josh H, baby. So Josh would have seen this. What do y'all think? Pretty doable. I got rocked when I got down to the trees, and he was like, man, we're just going down. He was pretty adamant about it. So the box is at the end. See it down there? There's that box, baby. Nobody got this one, I don't think. We'll see. We'll give them the benefit of the doubt. I've been in here. Yep. Walker's Pig Farm. Blank slate. Maybe next year. This is what they'd have to take off from, look. It's slightly uphill. It's usually into the wind. And it's doable. I have done it. I've got it on video, it's coming. Maybe one of these days. And nobody got this one either. Again, maybe next year. Walker's Pig Farm number 2. We'll see what he signed on both boxes. Josh H. We'll see what the other one's got. John Ripa flew over and his friend came by and he kicked his box. I think his name was Eric. My man Josh H. Now, after I've picked up a bunch of them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I got 2 more and I have to go pick them up with the truck. All right. You know what? I got to ride in these fields, and mowing all that, staying up late, getting up early, not sleeping good. Just kind of sick. I need to sleep. Oh, I'll probably need to sleep. So Josh H got the year's supply of Charlie soap, which was about 1,200 wash loads, which is plenty of wash load for most households. I'm glad that everybody had a good time. I'm glad everybody was safe. And I hope we do it next year, as long as we stay unregulated. We can keep having fun. So everybody fly safe with a little bit of sense and